Hi everyone, and welcome to Nutmeg Notebook. This is our live show for Sunday, and I'm Tammy. If you're new to us, my husband Tom is joining me.
Whoops, what happened?
I always wanted to be taller than you. So we are the creators.
Let me come up in the world here a little bit.
There you go. Of the blog Nutmeg Notebook and this YouTube channel where we share whole food, plant-based, oil-free food recipes, healthy lifestyle tips, and all kinds of fun things. So we're real excited to be here today. We are going to talk about goals and vision boards, a little bit about meal planning, and we're also going to share with you our little experiment that we're doing with some growing herbs inside the house. And Tom's going to tell you all about that because he did all the research on it.
Oh, did you find a little box of goodies?
Oh, I didn't. I'll have to get that for you. Sorry.
I'll
or you can run and get it in the laundry room.
I'll wait for you to get started and then I'll do that.
So if our moderators are online.
I don't see
you
a
don't
moderator
see
yet.
Okay, so we might have to ask for another volunteer.
Yeah, if I'm going to step off, then we'll...
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wait a couple minutes.
Yeah, if I have to step away from the computer, then I ask for volunteers for me to assign as moderator. That way, if we get a silly troll, then you can push the hide troll button, the little three dots to the right. So anyway, but let's see if one of our moderators shows up. If not, then we'll ask for a volunteer.
Yeah, because you're not going to need that yet, because we're going to do the herb.
No, I'm going to be here for a little bit.
The herb thing at the end.
Yeah.
So we've got time. So be sure and introduce yourself, say where you're from. And if you are usually someone who doesn't make yourself visible, please make yourself visible. We want to know that you're here. Say hi to us. Let us know that you're here. Tell us where you're from. I already see on the feed that people are finding out that there's other people living close to where they are, so that
you got a sharp eye. You can see that from over there.
I was looking before we went live.
Oh, okay.
I was just kind of looking at the chat. It's like we were running literally up to the last minute. So anyway, so we should get started. If you have a question for us, if you would put it in the comment section with 3 question marks. 4. Oh, sorry. 4
question marks before and after.
He's so specific. 4 question marks, then your question. And then 4 more question marks because that makes it stand out.
When I was younger, 3 question marks would work, but now I just need a little more
visual,
a little more bracketing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've had a really busy day, a fun day. We did already post the marinara sauce. It's a classic marinara with no oil that we put up this morning. You may recall that we said last weekend we filmed. I think it ended up being 7 new videos. So we're trying to get those out. So we've already posted the date paste video and then the marinara. And in the marinara, I used some date paste. So
That's why we did the date paste first, because it was in the marinara.
But somebody just left me a question on email and said, where do I get date paste? So we actually have a video for that.
Can you buy it if you don't want to make it?
Yeah, you can actually. You can, from the Date Lady, you can order date paste or date syrup from the Date Lady.
Okay.
And her date syrup is really good. So our daughter actually uses that for the kids for things. So, and then next we're going to launch the spinach tofu ricotta. And the reason we're doing them in this order is then the video after the ricotta is going to be for our favorite lasagna. And so my plan is to have that in place so that you can all make it for Mother's Day if you wish, because Mother's Day is coming up in just 2 weeks. Oh, it's going to be a different kind of Mother's Day too, because it looks like we probably won't be getting together. I don't ever get together with my mother for Mother's Day because she's in Nebraska, but usually we get together with our kids and the little ones, but probably we won't get to do that this year. Okay. So let's get started. I wanted to talk a little bit about goals because I've been getting a lot of emails from people who are struggling a little bit with the pandemic going on, being stuck at home, being anxious, having a lot of anxiety, and their eating has kind of taken a dive. So I wanted to address that a little
It's
bit.
kind of a study in environment matters.
It is.
If you're stuck at home and you have a lot of stuff that is a temptation.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, and people aren't able to get out and go to the gym if they were used to going to the gym. Their routines have been disrupted. And oftentimes when that happens, that really shakes up our world. And, we look to food for comfort. And when you start doing that, then, it hijacks your brain. And the more indulgent the food is, the more your brain says, hey, that was really fun, let's have more. So one thing that you could do right now, if you kind of want to rein that all in, is maybe set a new goal. And that can be, different for everyone. I'm just going to choose, let's say maybe if you want to do it for fitness, maybe you can figure out, since you can't go to the gym, what can you do? Do you have some little weights that you can use? Can you get up early and go for a walk before a lot of people are outside in your neighborhood? Maybe if you have those exercise bands, you could use those. Maybe your partner, if you have a partner, maybe they could also participate with you. Tom and I go for a walk every morning, a 4-mile walk, and that's really fun for us to get to do that together. It takes us just over an hour, and we chit chat while we're doing it. And before we know it, that hour's over, the 4 miles is done, and we've had a nice workout, but it was really fun because we did it together. If you're going to choose one, I'm going to choose one and kind of step through it with you for eating healthier. And I think that's always a good goal to have. And so once you establish a goal, and you need to be specific with your goal, just saying, oh, I want to be healthier isn't specific enough to set for a goal. You have to break it down, like what steps do I need to do in order to get healthier? What things do I need to change? So if we were, yes.
I left that camera high, I think, from making the tofu ricotta, so I think I'd like to lower it down a couple of inches for you so that...
So I'm not looking up at it?
Yeah.
So it's more eye level?
Yeah, this is what happens when we film in between Sundays, is that my camera settings, somebody changes the height of the tripod. I don't know who's doing that. Yeah.
Who does that?
So you guys will just have to hang on. It'll be a momentarily bumpy.
So let's say that we're going to choose the goal that we're going to eat healthier food, because I've been getting questions about how to make things healthier, and some questions about meal planning. And so what you would need to do then is ask yourself what you can do to get closer to the goal of eating healthier. So the first thing you might want to do is clear all the junk food out of your house, because environment is hugely important and a big factor in our ability to be successful at eating healthy. So, that's going to take some negotiations if you live with people who insist on having unhealthy food in the house. But you can ask them, could we move all of your stuff to a certain cupboard or a certain shelf in the pantry? Or in our case, like Tom still has some higher fat foods that I don't eat. And so we have a drawer in the refrigerator for the refrigerated stuff where it goes in there. We have a cabinet in the garage where he took a bunch of stuff that I just didn't want to see because I didn't want to be tempted to eat it, out to the cabinet in our garage. And the interesting thing was, once it was out of sight, it was also out of his mind, and he stopped eating it. So that worked out kind of good for us, right?
Yeah.
Is this mic bugging you? I noticed you keep looking at my mic.
Well, I think the necklace is occasionally bumping against the microphone.
I can take the necklace off. How about that?
Yeah, there was a little clunk happening, so I got a tip from somebody that there was a clunking noise going on, so I heard it once.
Okay, let's see if this is better. Let us know if this is better, you guys. So maybe negotiate with the family about the stuff. If you don't see it, then you're not apt to want it. But it's once we see those tempting foods, or if they're favorite things of ours that we want them. So if you can at least get them out of sight, if you can't get them out of the house, that can be very helpful. I know some people have 2 refrigerators. They have one in the kitchen and maybe they have one in their basement or in their garage, and they ask the other family members if they could put the higher fat stuff or the tempting foods in the other refrigerator, and they keep their food in one refrigerator, all the healthy stuff in the other refrigerator. That also can be an option. So, so clear out the junk food from your home, and then make a shopping list for healthier options.
It was me. This
Oh,
thing
you're
was,
making the noise.
I'm making the noise. It was me with this just
Okay,
now.
well, good, now we know.
Yeah.
And then maybe make a commitment to batch prep on 1 or more days of the week, because one of the ways to have success is to always have healthy food on hand that you can eat. And if you have a refrigerator full of healthy food, guess what? You're going to eat healthy food, but it does take a little bit of planning. So one thing that you can do is you can go ahead and print your recipes. I even print my own recipes off my blog because I prefer to have written recipes to look at rather than on the computer. I guess I'm old school that way. And so I just print them off, and I have a paper punch. I paper punch them, and then I put them in a binder. And if you have a lot of them, you can get dividers, put dividers in, and have them divided up by soups or Instant Pot recipes or salads. You can do that. It's kind of like making your own cookbook. And that way you're organized and you have everything here. And talking about organized, the more organized your kitchen is and the more organized your pantry or your refrigerator is, the easier it is to cook and the easier it is to find the things that you want. So a little bit of organization goes a long way. Also, maybe try 1 new recipe a week just to keep things a little bit interesting. And that's also how you build up a repertoire of recipes that you like or that the family likes, and introduce something new, see how it goes. If they like it, then put it on the menu. If they don't, then you know to toss that recipe. And then another thing that you can do is you can make a vision board. Now, I love vision boards, and I learned about vision boards from Chef AJ and Jean-Pierre, who run the Chef AJ's Ultimate Weight Loss Plan. And so when I went on that in 2015, one of the things that they had us make were vision boards. And this was the first vision board that I made. And I took a picture of me thinner when I was thinner and put it on there, and because I wanted to get back in that outfit, and I can wear that outfit now, which is really fun. And then I put healthy food on it and pictures of beautiful hikes, because Tom and I like to go hiking and bike riding, and this really inspired me. And I put it on our refrigerator, and Tom didn't tell me at first, but later he told me that he was inspired by it too, and it helped him make better choices when he would go to the fridge, because he would see this and he would see, oh, she's trying to get fit, and he would see pictures of the veggies and everything, and it made him also think about his choices. So it had an impact on him. It was a great conversation starter too when people would come over, because I would leave it up on the refrigerator even if we had people over, and they would ask me about it, and I would say, oh, I'm trying this plant-based diet, and we're exercising more, and we're trying to eat more vegetables and whatever. And so it was a good conversation starter as well. And then I made some smaller ones. This one it would fold like a card, and I carried this in my purse. And then if I was sitting and waiting someplace, the doctor's office or the dentist office or what have you, I would get it out and look at it. It would just keep inspiring me. And I made color copies of this on the copy machine and put them around different places in the house. So I keep vision boards in our walk-in closet in the master bedroom. I have them in my pantry, my laundry room, out in the garage. We have a little workout area out in the garage, in my office. I mean, I just have them all over because they're kind of like a commercial for your life when you make vision boards.
You didn't put one out in the workshop.
Well, honey, that's where you need to put one.
Oh.
That's where you need to put one. Like I made this one was all about exercising. And so I, had that in the exercise room. This one was about putting me first and having to remind myself that that's not being selfish. It's important to take care of ourselves first. And just, different ways you can make them too. You can do old school like I did, where you get out a bunch of magazines and cut things out. And this is an activity the whole family can do. If you guys are bored and your kids are bored, this is something the whole family can do. Everybody can make some kind of a little vision board, a little collage. Or you can, like this one I made online, which is fun. I have an app on my smartphone. It's PhotoGrid, and that's probably my favorite one. I've tried a bunch of different ones, but I like PhotoGrid the best. And then you can just pick pictures from your phone or find pictures on the internet and make a collage, and then you can print it on your home printer, and it's easy. And this is one that I just did this afternoon, just of batch cooking. And so if you are inspired to eat healthier, maybe you want to take some pictures of healthy food, put that on the refrigerator, and that might help. There's also Diptyque and Canva are a couple other apps. I've never had good luck with Canva though. It's too complicated for me. I'm not techie at all.
So who'd you do this on?
So this was PhotoGrid.
PhotoGrid.
And PhotoGrid is what I use to make all the collages that I post on Instagram and Facebook.
Gina is asking if you also do business vision boards for Nutmeg Notebook.
We don't do vision. We haven't done vision boards for him. But what is
Well, it kind of serves the same thing so far as Motivate. Scrum boards.
Yes, we do a
I
Scrum
bought us
board.
each a Scrum board, and it's a dry erase board, but it's got a metal backing in it, so it uses magnets. And so we've got different color magnets. So when we put up a card in a column of like videos that we're planning to do, videos that we have shot but are not processed, videos that I'm in the middle of processing, notes about what I need to link to. So those kind of work so far as our managing our workflow and inspiring me to see how much stuff I have undone that I yet need to do.
And then when people send us or leave comments either on our YouTube videos or send us
the very
emails.
the left-hand column is the idea column.
Yeah, then we also have an idea
So you guys
column.
actually get a column of your own on our Scrum boards.
Yeah, and so then we put them on index cards and then put them on our Scrum board.
So not in the same vein of this, as in terms of, this is about the psychology and your mindset of making good choices or persevering and being determined in your personal maintenance mission, where the Scrum boards really are about focusing your work for productivity, but they go hand in hand.
They do. And so
you could call this a work vision board because this is your batch cooking.
It is. It's the salads that I made today. I prepped. It's the corn I made today, the melons that I prepped, the salads that I made, the potatoes.
So that's kind of like what the refrigerator looks like in there right now if you opened it.
But not this, because this picture I just pulled off my phone. I didn't I didn't have time because we had to go live in like 5 minutes. I made this in like 5 minutes. But the thing about vision boards is they're very powerful. So they're kind of like a commercial, and the companies spend millions of dollars on advertising every year. And why is that? Because it's very successful. It's very powerful. So if you see an image enough times, whether it's in print in a magazine or it's on a commercial on TV, eventually you want to try that product, right? It's kind of like they say, if you hang out in a bar long enough, eventually you're going to have a drink, or you hang out in a barbershop, eventually you're going to get a haircut. Well, it's kind of the same thing. So the images are really powerful. And if you keep seeing the greens and the vegetables or the fruits on your refrigerator door, pretty soon you want those, so because it has a very powerful effect. So vision boards are really fun to make, and they really do work. So I love them. So if any questions about vision boards?
Let's see. I took the one question already. There was a comment that somebody's binder is filling up with printing your recipes off of the
Awesome.
off of the blog. So why don't you just get them all in the cookbook so that they can just get them
know.
all at once?
I want to. I really do. I want to. So when life slows down a little bit, that's one of my goals. I would really like to do that.
And Gina's okay. Also, you asked me what's going on. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Gina's observing that Reeves has been cutting Dylan's hair for him. This one is reluctant to cut my hair.
Okay, but I cleaned up. I cleaned up the back of it. I shaved his neck, and I cleaned up the hairline across the back. So I did do that. I was afraid to do the top because he has wavy hair, and it's like somebody who really knows how to do that needs to work on that. So we're not going to go there right now. Okay, we're going to talk about meal planning. I'm not going to go there right now.
Okay.
But if anybody has any ideas for an app to make simple vision boards or collages, put it in the comment. That would be great, because that will help other people. Or you can do old school and cut pictures out like I do and tape them or glue them on a poster board. Okay, so I've gotten a couple of emails recently about meal planning. People asking me, could you do a simple week's worth of meal planning and meals? And here's the thing, I honestly do not meal plan. So that may come as a shock to you, as organized as I am. But here's the deal. What we do now is so automated that I really don't have to meal plan unless it's like a holiday or we're going to be entertaining. Because in the old days, before, when we were following the standard American diet, I would meal plan around whatever animal meat we were having for the meal. So, whether it was fish or pork or chicken or whatever. And then I would plan the sides around that. So now instead, it's more like we use starch. Like, which starch am I going to have?
Foundation.
Is the foundation. And then we kind of plan the rest of the plate or the bowl or whatever around that. And so our meal planning really, really changed. And we eat pretty simply. So for instance, if you cut down on the variety of different meals that you have, then it takes less planning and it makes grocery shopping much easier. So for instance, Tom eats the same breakfast every morning. So he has his oats with a banana and some frozen blueberries, and he doesn't cook his oats. He just puts rolled oats. We buy organic rolled oats. He puts those in a bowl. He adds cut up banana and some frozen blueberries and chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds.
Yes, I'm getting my omega-3s at least 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has that every morning. So when we do our weekly grocery shopping, we just go, do we have enough oats, chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds? Because we know that that's what he eats every morning for breakfast. I'm kind of hit and miss with breakfast. I hadn't had breakfast for a long time. Was just eating 2 meals a day. I'm trying to eat breakfast some days. I'm good at it, and some days I'm not. But I usually have like a bowl of greens. If I do have breakfast, I'll have some kind of bowl of vegetables, and then maybe one of my quinoa banana oat muffins. And so I just make sure that I have muffins in the freezer, because I'll make them. It makes a dozen, and so Whenever I run out, then I'll just make a batch. So I always have those in the freezer. And, we always have a ton of vegetables here. So I have plenty to choose from to, make something savory from vegetables. So that makes breakfast super easy. And then we both eat pretty much the same thing every day for lunch. I have one of my big, beautiful chopped salads, and Tom usually has
Dump soup.
And if you missed it, we did a video where Tom showed you how to make his dump soup.
Yeah, now yesterday was all pretty much newer ingredients, but yesterday was where the dump soup name, of course, came from. Was there were 2 dishes of onions, and I pull them out and say, "Are there's chopped onions here? Do I need to eat these before they go bad?" And in that case, you said no because you had just chopped them for a recipe.
For salads today.
Yeah.
Steal a drink of your
But
water.
the day before, there was a bunch of something chopped up in a little snap lock glass dish that she says, "Oh yeah, I'll use that." And so it got dumped in, and it did not get wasted. So anyway, my dump soup is good.
Yeah. And so we just know when we shop, like he likes to put tofu in it, not every day, but some days.
Yeah, not
and
today.
you like to put brown rice in it, and the little potatoes. And so we just know when we go
Brussels sprouts and celery
yeah.
and carrots and mushrooms. And today I stole some of your cauliflower when you weren't looking.
Did you?
Just one big floret. And
Cauliflower or broccoli?
Cauliflower.
You
I
did.
stole
Okay.
one of your cauliflowers.
Sometimes he gets cauliflower and broccoli.
No, I don't.
Next time.
I-
You call it the wrong thing.
Broccoli
sometimes.
is green, cauliflower is white.
Good job. Good job.
So, and of course the broccoli I consider to be my stash. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, so for the meal planning, so when we go grocery shopping, now we know exactly what we need to buy for me to be able to make. I make 12 of the salads at a time, and so we know exactly what we need to buy for the salads. So that's right there. That is, 7 of my meals I don't have to think about. 7 of his meals we don't have to think about because we know that what we're going to have for breakfast, what we're going to have for lunch. So, which is actually, that's 14 meals per me.
Mm-hmm.
So then all we have to think about is dinner. And our dinner is when you usually have your salad for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have more variety, I guess, than you do because I eat different things.
Yeah, I'm
For evening.
pretty monotonous with the salad. And then some nights though, well, one night we might order the
Chinese.
the vegan Chinese restaurant, and then occasionally I will have a vegan burrito with my chips and rice.
Yeah.
So
And what I do is I'll go to the refrigerator and I will think, do I want a Japanese sweet potato, Hana yam, Yukon Gold potatoes, which are already cooked because we batch prep those, or do I want oat groats, or maybe I want brown rice. So I'll pick a starch and then I'll figure out what I'm going to put with it and what I'm going to make. So I might make po nachos, which would either have beans or taco lentils in our cheese sauce, or I might decide to do a stuffed baked potato with broccoli and mushrooms and onions and Alfredo sauce, which
my biggest choice is which salsa I'm going to use.
yeah. So we keep it pretty basic and pretty simple. And if you want ideas on what we do, I try to post every week what I've batch cooked. Although I know I didn't have time last week because we were so busy filming. But I try to post what I batch cook. And then throughout the week, if you follow me on either Instagram or on Facebook, I post my meals a lot of days.
And so that really serves well because we get a lot of requests for what I eat in a day. And we've actually have done some what I eat in a day videos a while back. Or we get a lot of requests for meal planning, which you probably already said that. That's why you're doing this presentation. And in our meal plan is really that we don't have to plan our meal. It just is already, all the ingredients are ready for it to happen.
Yeah,
so
because we, especially if you're wanting to lose weight, cutting down on lots of variety really helps with that, with the losing weight. And not that you want to make your food boring, but the more stimulating it is, the more huge variety, the more you have to keep that up because your brain really likes that.
Gina has a comment here I want to address.
Yes.
Gina says, Tom, your dump soup doesn't end up being veggie mush? And then no offense, absolutely no offense taken. I use the Milty 6-quart multi-pot to make my steamed vegetable soup.
The new 2.0
The new
one.
2.0 because it's got the automatic steam release. So I use steam and I use it for 3 minutes and I use quick release. And as soon as that steam valve goes off, you got to get it out of there. You
Or
got to
it
get out
will
of
be
there
mush.
right away. You can't let it sit or do a natural depressurizer or whatever. If I get on the phone or get busy or something and don't get that thing open, then yeah, I'm having vegetable mush. But if I get it out right away, the celery still has texture, the water chestnuts are nice and crispy, the broccoli doesn't fall apart. So yeah, you've got to be real prompt in getting it out of the pot, or you do wind up with veggie mush. So good point, a point that should be made.
And so, and I usually make a couple of different sauces. We love the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce because we both love Mexican food. And so in Tom's chopped salad every night, he always does the same Mexican one. And I think we did a video on that too, how you make yours. And we just did a new video that we haven't posted yet of the new one that I've been making with the crispy tortilla strips. So that'll be coming out soon too. So I'll make the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce, and then I'll make, like you could make the Alfredo sauce, and our Alfredo sauce is really delicious, and you can use that over steamed vegetables, a baked potato, rice. You can use it over I got lipstick on your glass. I thought, what's he looking at?
There's
I got
lipstick on
lipstick
my
on your
water
glass.
glass.
I'm sorry.
She's stealing my
Don't
water.
let it bother you.
I'll
Don't
just
let
turn
bother
it.
you. There you go. So
It's not my
just-
shade anyway.
It's not your shade?
No.
So it's just super creamy and delicious, and you can use it in a lot of different ways. You can make our creamy balsamic dressing. That is really good. I like it on vegetables as well, and people write to me all the time and tell me that they like to put it on their vegetables. Or you could make a gravy. I don't have a gravy recipe up. I have a really great idea in my head for a gravy, but I haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. But there's lots of good gravy recipes out there that you could try. And so if you have some kind of a sauce, and you could even just use the flavored vinegars are really great to use as a sauce, or Dylan from Well Your World, his salad dressings and his sauces. We have a whole video all about those. Those are really amazing. They're SOS free and super delicious. So if you don't want to make your own stuff, you could buy those. Did you have something to add?
Well, I think I put his link in the description if somebody
Okay,
wants
so
to
his
find
link,
that.
we actually have an affiliate link. So Tom put that
I do have
below.
a question for you.
Yes.
As you're listing down ingredients, like you batch prepped the cheese sauce today. You did
I'm
two.
going to show them.
Okay.
I'm going to
Margot's.
show you what I batched.
Okay, all right.
today.
Margot is asking about freezing the nacho cheese sauce.
You know, we have never tried freezing it. Somebody's told, I don't think anybody has gotten back to us on freezing
Whether
it
it
yet.
changes to, we each, she makes a dish for both of us, and it takes us the whole week to use it up.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to talk specifically about adding the milk to it in the later days?
Oh, when I pull it out,
Okay,
I can.
great.
Sure, I can. We haven't frozen it because we eat it. So what I tell people is just take a small amount and freeze it and see how it works. That way, if it doesn't work, you're not ruining the whole batch. And the Alfredo sauce, we have never tried freezing it, so I don't know if you can freeze that one either. But if anybody watching has tried to freeze either our Alfredo or the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce or Donna's cheese sauce, let us know if it worked or not. So my hummus, I do freeze it. The marinara, of course you can freeze it. And if you make the marinara, which a whole bunch of people already did, so we've already gotten emails from people and comments on the video that people have already made it. In fact, one gal said that
I
she
posted the video, and then they came down, and then we got one of the very first comments. A lady, I saw it pop up. She had the ingredients on hand, and she watched the video first time and made it while she was watching
well, she
the video.
paused it, went to her pantry, got all the ingredients,
So I
and
came
cooked
down
with
about,
me.
I don't know, 30 minutes after posting the video. I said, somebody's already made the marinara sauce. And she was like, what?
I was like, how could they? We just put it up. He was like, no, she paused the video and made it with you. So that was exciting. And then Jean Fenn sent an email and said that she already tried it as well. So it does have 2 tablespoons of date paste in it. And we put a video up just a couple days ago on how to make date paste, and the recipe is on the blog. We have a blog post and a video for that. And it's really easy to make, and you can have the recipe if you don't want to make the full recipe, and you can freeze it. So some people said that they're going to freeze it in 1 tablespoon
Are
measurements.
you talking about the date paste?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah,
some-
that's the question about when you freeze the date paste. Does it become hard, or can I scoop out what I need for each
No,
recipe?
you can
So
actually, when I freeze
freezes.
I freeze it in a container, and it doesn't get
Oh.
hard like an ice cube. And so I can scrape it out right out from frozen.
With like a
and
metal
get it-
measuring spoon?
And
or a
well,
metal
I use
spoon?
a sturdy plastic one,
Okay,
one that's round, that's
Oh.
kind of sturdy.
okay. all
So
right.
I've been able to do that. But somebody said they were going to put it in ice cube trays and freeze it. Somebody else told me they were going to measure out 1 tablespoon of it. People are asking how long it lasts. They say that dates can be kept in the refrigerator for months, or they can be frozen up to a year. So I would imagine that the same could be true for date paste. But I usually just put about, I don't know, maybe it's a little 8-ounce jar in my refrigerator, and it's good for weeks and weeks. And then if I think I'm not really going to use this up right now, then I'll just put it in a freezer safe container and freeze it. And I'm sure that it would be fine in the freezer for like a year. But if it makes too much, if the full recipe makes too much, you can make just half of the recipe. And sometimes I do that. If I know, I'm not going to be using it for, a whole lot, then I'll just make half of the recipe. Now, people are also asking on the date paste, how do you substitute it for granulated sugar? And you know what? It really depends on the recipe. And I can tell you that date paste is not as sweet, tablespoon per tablespoon of granulated sugar, because the granulated sugar is highly processed and all of the fiber and nutrients and everything have been removed, so that you just have those little white crystals, and so it's a concentrated sweetness. With the dates or the date paste, you're getting all of the fiber and all of the nutrients, and it's not as sweet because it's not as concentrated. So, and the same with if you're using it in place of maple syrup. Maple syrup is probably 2 to 3 times sweeter than the date paste is. And so it's how much you're going to use is really going to depend on the recipe. And if you're substituting date paste for granulated sugar, the date paste is moist, the granulated sugar is dry. So that could really alter and change the quantity of the dry ingredients depending on what you're making. So, Google it and see if you can find, if there's a chef or someone that has like a formula. I have not seen a formula myself, and so when I'm substituting it, I just kind of play with the recipe until it feels right to me. And so that's what you'll have to do too, because it's really going to depend on the recipe and whether you're substituting for granulated sugar or maple syrup or honey. It's the moisture content is different.
Were you asking earlier about anybody getting back to us on freezing the Alfredo sauce?
Yes.
Okay, no, it does not freeze well. Which
Okay.
because of the cauliflower base, I didn't imagine.
I
that
didn't
get
think it would
separated.
either.
But ours,
So you can
ours
always-
gets ate up so quickly, but
You can always make half a recipe too.
Yeah.
That's another one where you could cut the recipe in half. Or if you're the only one eating it, you could cut the recipe by into quarters. You could do 1/4 of it. You could make a small quantity. And if you're cooking a really small amount, then I wouldn't cook the cauliflower in the pressure cooker. I would just cook it in the microwave or on top of the stove to do that. And then you might have to put it, if it's a really small quantity, then you might have to put it in your a small food processor instead of the high-powered blender. You just, kind of play with it.
The question on the date paste, how many dates did you, the question is how much, one date equals how much date paste?
I used a whole pound
in that
and,
recipe.
And I can't say because it depends on how big the dates are.
They're different
so
sizes.
It depends on the type of date
whether
that
they're
you
plump
get.
and fat and juicy and moist, or whether they're dried out
Yeah.
and hard and shriveled.
And the
Yeah.
different types of dates are different sizes.
Yeah.
So, so I don't have an answer
we're not,
to that.
Just kind of logicking through it a little bit though, we're not taking water, we may be putting water in before we do the recipe. So whatever the size of the date is going in, that much mass pretty much is going to stay in the recipe because we're not removing anything. We're just
Well, we're
stirring it up
adding a
and-
little bit of water and making it creamier and
so
smoother.
it'll grow a little bit. So
Yeah.
So whatever the size of the date is, if it would smush into a tablespoon, then it'll be a little bit more than a tablespoon once you get done stirring it.
Yeah, yeah. See, there's just a lot of variables with the dates because, sometimes I'll buy, because I always buy the medjool dates, and sometimes they're really, really big, and then the next time it just depends on the crop. Sometimes they're a little bit smaller. The medjool are always the really big
From
ones.
3/4 of a teaspoon to a tablespoon and a half.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes they're bigger and sometimes they're smaller. So now I'm going to show you what I batch cooked today and talk a little bit about how we will use that food through the week. So does anybody have any questions about meal planning
just
for
gonna-
us?
I
And how am I doing on time?
We've been on for 41 minutes.
Wow, I can't believe it. I always think, 30 minutes max, but that doesn't happen. Okay, so here we go. So you'll see, we like Dylan's Well Your World sauces and salad dressings. So we have those and his ketchup. Oh, and somebody asked me today, I didn't get to answer it on YouTube, if I would do a ketchup video. I have a ketchup video. We do have a ketchup
It's
video.
just really old, so just put ketchup in the search bar on our channel and it'll pop up.
Yeah,
How did you spell it though?
We actually had to do it twice.
C-A-T-S-U-P or K-E-T-C-H-U-P?
I don't remember.
They're both correct.
Do you remember we had to film it twice because the first time we filmed it
was perfect.
was great. It was perfect.
Except
there was no sound. Because Tom didn't turn the sound on.
I didn't plug the microphone into the camera.
And so then we had to do it again. We had so much ketchup, but you can actually freeze it. It freezes. So what I did, I'm gonna cut up melon, but I did this yesterday. So
I'm going to come around and move the camera a little bit. Tiffany, Jesse, you guys got the chat.
So this was half of one of those big watermelons from Costco, and it's actually pretty good right now. It's not too bad. I didn't get to the strawberries yet, and then I also bought a honeydew melon, and I cut that up. So I did this last night just before we had dinner. I thought, I'm going to get that done because I kind of spread my batch cooking out over 2 to 3 days now. I used to do it all in one day, but we're just too busy. I can't do it all in one day anymore. So I put them in containers. I like containers that I can see through so that we can, when we look in the refrigerator, we can actually see what we have. And then I have the strawberries, and I will probably go ahead and prep about half of those strawberries. So this is some taco lentils from the freezer because I used those last night because I made po nachos. These are containers that I got at Costco that are supposed to help your fruits and vegetables last longer. I don't know if they really do or not. Do they have a brand on them? Isn't that weird? It doesn't say what brand. They are. That is so weird.
That's real helpful.
That's real helpful.
Watch for them at Costco.
I don't know. They were from Costco, but there's no brand on them, so I can't help you. So I went ahead and washed my blueberries. I bought blueberries there, the organic blueberries. So I went ahead and washed those. In here is just some of the beets. I buy the Love beets from Costco that are already cooked. And then when I open up the package, I love them on my salads. I just put them in the Snap Lock containers.
Can you open that left door all the way so, because you're crowding the view.
I'm crowding the...
Oh, open it all the way. There you go.
Oh, there. I didn't
So, yeah,
realize
'cause we
it could
couldn't-
go a
you were
little
pointing
bit
at
more.
something we couldn't see.
So then I also did a batch of corn, and this corn on the cob, we bought the corn at Costco, and then we cook it in the pressure cooker, and we have a video on that, and it only takes like 2 minutes in the pressure cooker. So we can take it, it's really hard to find frozen corn right now. All of the stores are just selling out of frozen corn. So we bought the fresh, we cooked it, and then we can just cut it off the cob if we don't want to eat it on the cob, so it can go in our salads or Mexican food or on the nachos. And this is another one of those containers, but yep, isn't that crazy? They didn't put their name anywhere on it. Can't help you with that. Okay, then I did potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes. I actually had cooked more than this, but then I made the nacho cheese sauce, so that took up some of them. And then this one, you'll see, it says no lid. So I always know that I can use this one for potatoes in the fridge because we don't have a lid for it anymore. So I baked Japanese sweet potatoes and Hana yams and the Yukon Golds. And we have a video all about how to do this and the timing of it and ideas on what to do with them.
I think people are asking you, did all that this morning and went for a 4-mile walk or hike?
We did go for a 4-mile walk this morning, and then we came home and I commenced to getting busy to batch prep because I knew we had this at 4 o'clock, so I knew I had to get a lot of stuff done. And so I always start with the potatoes. Get the potatoes going first because once those are in the oven, I don't have to mess with them. And then you'll see I did a dozen salads. So do you see there's another row?
You got to step back so we can see. Yeah.
So there's another row in there.
Okay, now we can see all 12. I can count them.
You can count them. Okay, good. They're all in here. And
We believe you.
these have to go upside down in order to fit in there. So it just takes, some planning in order to fit everything in the fridge. But I know how everything fits, and I like everything to always go in the same place, because then it makes it easier when we go to the fridge to get something. And so that's what I'm talking about. The more organized you are, the easier this is.
The less planning you have to do.
The less planning you have to do, that's right. Well, and I don't want to spend a ton of time in there. And then just a couple more potatoes that wouldn't fit in there. So, and I love my Japanese sweet potatoes. I make crispy croutons out of these, have a video on that. Love them in my salads, or just to cut them in half and air fry them, score them, and they are so fantastic. And you want to store these without a lid on them because they won't get so soggy and wet if you do that. And actually we have 2 salads that were left over from this past week. I don't know what happened. Oh, well, you didn't eat yours last night. And maybe one other day. I think when we went to Katie's or something, you didn't eat it.
Kelly's asking what the brand and size of the fridge is.
It's a GE. And do you remember what size this is?
Well, it's in the model number. I think it's a 28. It says GES 28.
It's a GE 28. HMHEES.
That's good.
It's my favorite refrigerator ever because you can just fit, as you can see, you can fit so much stuff in there. Okay, so then I also made nacho cheese sauce. I won't open both of them. They're the same. And I make one for Tom and one for Tammy. This is one batch.
Show them the names on the lid.
I will. Yeah, see, Tom, Tammy.
And why is that?
Huh?
And why do you do that?
So that he doesn't eat all of mine. So that when I want, because we both really like this, and that way we know we have to ration it because this is what I've made for the week.
You're going to talk about the milk when you serve it.
Oh yeah, So when we serve this up, oh, this is not our favorite, but you know, we buy what we can find right now, right? Because when you go to the store, sometimes they're out of what you want. So when we go to heat this up, as you can see, it's gotten really thick and setting up in the refrigerator. And it's interesting, some weeks it stays really smooth and creamy and kind of pourable, and I think it just depends on the moisture content of the potatoes. But and sometimes it sets up, so we'll take and we'll scoop out how much we want in a glass dish, and then we'll add some almond milk, and then we'll stir it up really good, and then we use the microwave as we discussed last weekend, but you can heat it up on top of the stove in a saucepan if you don't want to use the microwave. And then when we heat it up in the microwave, we use 50% power. So, you know, we put in the time and then 50% power so that it doesn't boil it, because we just want it to gently heat up. And then it just becomes exactly like nacho cheese sauce. So that's how we heat it up. And it's fantastic on vegetables, rice, over beans, the panachos, of course, lots of different ways to enjoy it. It's just, chips. Tom likes to make chips, and then and we have a video on that, how to make your chips in the air fryer, and just dip the chips in it, and that's really wonderful. So, and I like these containers are the Snapware containers that Costco sells, and we were in there last week, and I think they were on sale. They had like $5 off or something, and we have like 3 sets of these because we love them. They can go in the dishwasher, they can go in the microwave, not the lids. The lids are plastic, but the bottom is glass, and so they're fantastic because you can see what you've got in there. Okay, then the other thing that I made today was Brussels sprouts. So they look really nasty, but they're super delicious. So these are the Brussels sprouts from, and don't buy this vegetable broth. I bought this vegetable broth. We were at Sprouts, and it has a little bit of oil in it. So don't buy this one. I didn't realize it till we got home that it had oil in it. So this was a 2-pound bag of Brussels sprouts. I did eat some when they came out of the oven because they're one of my favorite things. And I did the Chef AJ's method, equal amount of the balsamic vinegar with, you can't find them? The cupboard. Go to the cupboard in the laundry room, honey, and it's the one closest to the door. Open up that cupboard door and all the
above
accessories.
The dryer.
Above the dryer, yeah.
Okay.
It's equal parts of balsamic vinegar and mustard. And let me show you, it's the stone ground Westbury mustard that has no salt added. And then let me grab the vinegar to show you the vinegar. Whoa. And then
There was a little crash. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's ears.
this is Napa Valley Naturals Grand Reserve, and this is a thick, syrupy, really sweet vinegar. It only has 4% acidity. They sell it at our Sprouts, and they also sell it at Whole Foods, and some like natural food stores or health food stores also carry it, and it's really delicious. It's thick and syrupy and sweet. So I did, for the 2 pounds, I did a 1/4 cup of each of these, and then I added a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and some fresh ground black pepper. And then I just put it on a Silpat mat on a baking sheet, a rimmed baking sheet, and I did them for about 45 minutes at 400 degrees because that's the temperature I was cooking the potatoes at. If I was doing them just by themselves, I'd probably do like 425 because that would make them a little more crispy. But they're great right out of the oven. They're great cold. I will use these as a side dish. I might eat some for breakfast. They're great on top of a chopped salad. They're really scrumptious. So, and I like them plain too, but today I just thought, I think I'm gonna make them with the balsamic.
Are you still using that door?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the alarm is off on it.
Okay, I'm gonna catch some questions here as soon as you're ready.
Okay, so, and this is some pizza sauce, because you know I'm experimenting with a pizza crust. So I made pizza the other night. So this is some homemade pizza sauce. So when that recipe gets, what do I want to say, perfected, then I'll be sharing that. So we have that. So what are we going to do with all that food? Oh, and these are some beans that we have left. I made the cumin black bean recipe, but I used pinto beans instead of dried black beans. And then this is some garbanzo beans that I opened up today because it was a can, because I wanted a few on my salad. So, but if you make the homemade ones, they are 10 times better. So it'll be really easy when we go to the fridge to pull together what we want to eat, because we can pull out, oh, and I didn't make oat groats today because I have some in the freezer that I made last week, and I portioned them out into like baggies and froze them. So because I wasn't going to get the whole batch eaten, and so I thought, well, I'll just freeze them. So I didn't make.
Probably making rice on Tuesday. I had a couple containers left, so I didn't worry about
Yeah,
that today.
I might have to make some other kind of starch on Tuesday. So I'll just go to the fridge and I'll decide if I'm going to have oat groats or corn, or you know what my starch is going to be. It might be a Hana yam or a Japanese sweet potato or Yukon Gold potatoes, and then I can decide what vegetables to put with them, because we have another refrigerator in the garage that has bags of greens in it, so that we can steam or saute the greens to go with any of those foods that we have prepped, and then we can just put meals together. So I have zucchini that I can spiralize to put the Alfredo sauce on. Tom will probably have it on some pasta. We buy like the lentil pastas or the quinoa pasta, and so he'll probably have it over some pasta, and it's good over rice with broccoli, and just pour the Alfredo over the top of that. And then the nacho cheese sauce is great on everything. We use it on everything as well, especially the ponachos. You know, I love my Mexican food. So, or I might do oat groats, beans, greens, and then some of the nacho cheese sauce over the top of that with a little bit of fresh cilantro and green onions. And I didn't get that done. I like to prep my fresh cilantro and green onions for the week too. I'll slice one bunch of green onions, put those in a glass container, and chop up some cilantro and put that in a container too. And then we just put things together and make meals out of it.
Sheila P. has a question. Where did you purchase the plastic tubs with the blue lids? The ones you got from Costco were those vegetable saver
Yeah, the
containers.
ones.
She's asking about our chopped salad bins. Those come from either Target or Amazon. I do have an Amazon link on these on our shop page. They're not always at Target. They're sometimes at Target. And
They're the Ziploc.
The Ziploc brand.
Ziploc brand. So Walmart, Target.
they come in a 2-pack or a 4-pack from Amazon. And I have one of those linked, but when you get there, you can choose which size bundle you want.
I think from Target they come 2 in
Yeah.
a pack. So, and they are 9-cup capacity is what it says. So, and we have a video on how we make our batch prepped salads, and they do last for us. You know, I mean, that's enough for 6 days, and they'll last and be really fresh still on the 6th day. And I have a video on tips, our top tips on how to make batch prep the salads and keep them fresh, because there, lots of ideas on how to do that. So any other questions?
What is the name of the cheese recipe? Christy wants to know, what's the name of the cheese recipe?
Yeah, it's Chipotle nacho cheese sauce, and I need to make a separate blog post. It's on the blog underneath the Ponachos, so Ponachos.
And is that Panacho video also show making the cheese sauce? So it's Ponacho is also the name of the Ponacho is the name of the video as well, which is only like 3 or 4 videos old right now.
Yeah.
So it would be fairly.
So I need
recent.
to go in and make that separate.
Yeah.
That and the bean recipe needs to be separate.
Do you ever buy your sweet potatoes from Costco? Mary Jo is asking.
Yes, we bought a bag
Garnets.
last week. We bought the garnet yams. They had organic garnet yams, and we bought those there. The Japanese sweet potatoes and the Hana yams are organic, and we always buy those at Whole Foods. Sometimes Trader Joe's has the Murasaki Japanese sweet potatoes. They come in a bag, and they're conventionally grown, and they're smaller than the ones that we can get at Whole Foods. And some of the ones at Whole Foods lately have been huge, and I will cut those in half and turn them the cut side down onto the Silpat mat so that they'll cook all the way through. Otherwise, you have to bake them for such a long time to get them soft in the center.
Elizabeth Card is asking, she's been unable to find JSP, Japanese sweet potatoes, at Trader Joe's or Sprouts. Any other
Do you have a Whole Foods? And it depends on where you live. So where do you live? Maybe somebody else watching.
What's the store my sister goes to in Florida? It's like their Whole Foods.
Aldi's?
Aldi's. There's another one back east. So
I don't know. Some places they're called Jersey yams. If you have an Asian market where you live, an Asian market might have them, should have them. Or if you have a grocery store that caters to the Asian community, then they might have them also.
Nishiji has a fun comment I have to read to you. As a fellow neat freak, parentheses, not this organizationally advanced though, parentheses, it just comes automatic, or it does for me, so it doesn't take long. It makes things more efficient when you go to use them.
Yes, it does. And I like to, have everything organized in the refrigerator, just so at a glance, I can just open it up and look and see, so the potatoes always go in the same place, the salads always go in the same place. The nacho cheese sauce and the Alfredo kind of get stirred up sometimes. But
you must have been talking about the watermelon. The bigger watermelons are coming back into Costco, and the last one we got was okay. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. And our oldest granddaughter really likes the watermelon.
Yeah.
So when we go over to their house, I always like to take her a little treat of some kind of fruit. So that's a good one.
Jessie, one of our moderators, is amazed at how much stuff you have in your fridge. I help her eat it. And it's a lot of vegetables. Vegetables take up a lot of space in the fridge and in your tummy, which is the magic of vegetables.
Yeah. So the Food Revolution, are any of you watching the summit?
Some people have commented on
Okay, so today it was all about brain health. I didn't get to hear the speakers yesterday, so I'm going to have to
catch it on the replay.
And I'll have to catch the replay. And it's only up. The replay's only up for 21 hours or something like that. And so I didn't have time to watch the replay. So, but you can purchase.
It's up until right before they broadcast the next day's deal.
So, but for $67, you can buy the package so that you have access to it later. So I'll have to do that to hear the first day.
But today, I didn't do it. I wasn't going to do it. We don't have that in a blog post, do we? Where do we have the link for the Food Revolution if somebody wants to opt in?
It's on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yeah, go to Nutmeg Notebook Facebook. Tammy's got a link there where you can click on it and get right in. And we are affiliates of theirs, but as a disclaimer. But it's a quick and easy way you can get it for free. You got to scroll all the way down kind of to the bottom and get past all of the ads to click on the free button and then, watch as many as you want.
Can you post a link? Can you post a link to it?
Yeah, I can put one here for a while and then take it back out again.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Do that. So anyway, today it was all about brain health, which was really fascinating. They were talking about Alzheimer's, which my father has Alzheimer's, so I'm always curious about what they say about that. And they were talking about how powerful vegetables, especially, greens are, but all vegetables are so powerful for brain health. So pretty much all of the doctors, any specialty specialists that we listen to from the plant-based community, whether it's a doctor talking about diabetes or heart disease or autoimmune diseases or Alzheimer's, dementia, they all say you have to eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables. So, and eat a wide variety of vegetables, and the more intense the color is, the more nutrients that they have. So, and they're super good for your gut biome too, which Tom was saying one of the doctors yesterday was talking about gut biome. So pretty much we need to keep our refrigerators full of vegetables and eat as many vegetables as we can for overall health, especially the brain. So, so that was comforting to hear as well, because it made me feel good about the way that we have chosen to eat. And they were talking about how every time you're about to eat something, you know, think about, is this something that's going to hurt me or help me?
Did every bite either hurts you or helps you?
Yes. And so, and to eat the food that loves you back.
Okay,
And
I put the Food Revolution Summit link in underneath our little brief description under Show More.
Okay.
But you won't see that unless you refresh your browser, because your computer will have it without there until you refresh.
Yeah, so that it's been very interesting. I like that they just have 3 speakers a day, and and it's topical, you know. So I love the format that they're using. So that's been really good, and that it's going to go for 9 days, and so
yeah, we listened to the Shirazis today.
Yeah, the
that
Shirazis.
was really interesting.
Yeah, they're down in Loma Linda, and they specialize in brain health.
Rose is asking if we're going to be discussing the herb garden soon.
Yes, let's do the herb garden.
Okay, we're going to have to move a little bit for that. So you might need to
What do you want me to do?
just go and stand in front of it and tell them what the name of it is while I get the camera moved and set up, and then I'll come around.
Well,
So-
they're not going to see me until you get the camera on me over there.
okay, let me.
But I can talk.
Where's the cameraman? Somebody's skipping out on their job.
But I can talk.
Okay,
no,
but
I
before we
wanna know-
leave, Don is asking, when we say about eat your vegetables, are you talking about non-starchy veggies or all veggies?
Oh, about non-starchy vegetables, and because of all of the incredible phytonutrients that they have and the antioxidants that they have. And starches are good for us too, but we need to be eating those dark leafy greens. And then, so here's the thing. So let's say there's good, better, and best. So look at the onion family. You know, white onions, yellow onions, or red onions. The onion that has the most pigment has the most nutrients. So the red onion is actually a little bit healthier than the yellow onion and the white onion. So, you know, so when you're looking at food, pick the things that have the most color. So there's leaf lettuce is not going to, although it's a leafy green, it is not going to have as much nutrients as kale or spinach has. My cameraman's telling me to move. And so when we're thinking about our food choices, we want to choose the foods that have the most pigment, because that means they have more antioxidants, more phytonutrients, and more antioxidants, more of the things that we need. So, but, and eat a wide variety of vegetables. We need to try to not eat the exact same vegetables all the time. And I'm super guilty of doing that, because I buy the exact same ingredients every week to make my salads, because I don't have to think about it, and it just makes it easier. So
I'm going to have to come off the tripod to get to the close of this thing. So,
oh, you are?
So everybody's just going to have to hang on for the ride for a little bit.
So this is...
Well, talk about where this...
Okay, so our friend Shada
from
from Healthy Cooking with Shada, she's a really good friend of ours, and she's in Southern California. She has a YouTube channel and a Facebook page. So it's Healthy Cooking with Shada. It's Shayda.
And we were just chatting.
And we were chatting with her on the phone, and she was telling us, this was a few weeks ago, that her neighbor had given her an arrow garden for a Christmas gift last year, and that she had been growing basil and different things in it. And she was like, you would absolutely love it. Because I was saying, you know, like right now, because we only go to the grocery store once a week, when I run out of fresh herbs, I'm just out. Because I won't go to the store right now just to get one thing. And she said, oh, you need to get an AeroGarden. She said, but get one that get the biggest one, she said, so that you can grow a wide variety. And the bigger they are, the quieter they are. And so, of course, immediately Tom started doing research on them because
Well, this one's quiet because it's in a ceramic, that's a ceramic bath.
yes.
And it holds the water down in there.
And so here, let's look at what we're growing. So we have in here Italian parsley and Thai parsley and chives. The chives haven't come up yet. And this is curly parsley, and this is dill. I'm so excited. I love dill. Mint, and then this is
Pull the lid off that.
the mint.
No, the one in back.
Oh, this is basil. Why is it Genovese? Basil? I don't know that. And then this one, oh, it's two of the same basil.
Yeah, you leave that off too.
Oh, okay. And then, this one is thyme. How exciting is this, you guys? So I'm super excited. So you buy these little pods from them that have the seeds. It's hydroponics, so this is filled with water. This has a readout on it, so it tells us, like the other day, it said, oh, your basil should start sprouting now. Look for signs of the basil. And so it has a little readout on it that gives you a message when there's something that it needs to tell you. And so it's telling us on here that the water it's full right now. We don't need to add any to it. And so you can grow lettuces. There's different things that you can buy from them in order to have a wide variety. But we went with the herbs because that's what I'm kind of missing right now, is not having fresh herbs. And in the past, we have bought, like Trader Joe's will sell, you know, a little pot that might have like 3 different herbs in it. I've bought those. Costco and Whole Foods and Trader Joe's sometimes sells a potted basil, and I've bought those. Like I'll buy several of those over the course of the summer, and I'll keep them. I have this sunny window here. Did you show them the window? So
Oh,
this
where
is
it sits, where it normally sits
Yeah,
back
so-
in this back corner behind the
yeah.
faucet.
So
we pulled
normally
it out.
it sits back here, but the faucet would have been in the way. Whoops. For you to see, so we pulled it out so you could see, but it sits here. And so it doesn't have to sit in a sunny place though, because it has the light
Yeah, turn
here.
them on briefly. There's a light switch right there, on off. And there's something special about, I'm going to dip down here. You can see maybe the reds and the blues there. It's going to be really bright. I'm not seeing them so well, but anyway, it's so that plants grow 5 times faster than they do otherwise.
Because the light is on 16 hours a day, is that correct?
15.
15 hours, okay. And so they grow really fast, much faster than they would if they were outside. And then there is the
Yeah, show them the
like
pods.
like a little
Yeah.
trellis
Right.
that we'll put on here when they start growing up,
Yeah,
so that
and then
they don't flop
that goes
over.
taller as the plants grow. You
Yeah,
can show
and this
that.
moves up. This will move up. So I don't know how.
Just push it up.
Really?
Yeah, it just goes up.
Okay. So that'll go up
to
as
2
things
feet high.
as they get taller. So what else do you want to tell them about
Oh,
it?
just the little things inside the pods. Because I don't want to pull one out. No, on the picture.
Oh, just the picture.
Yeah. There are little pods that came prepared, and then you just drop them down in whichever order in the holes. And then there's a little pump in there that moves the water around and waters each one of them from the top down once a day. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. So
Which is really fun. And I was glad that Shada told us to get one, the bigger one. So, because it's fun to be able to have a wide variety of
I'm going to park this
different
so we
herbs.
can go sit down again.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's the look at that. I'm going to talk about
Okay.
how much they are and
Great. So that's our little mini herb garden. and I'm super excited about it. We've also tried growing them in our backyard in a big pot. We've done that before too, so that I would have basil and mint handy. It's just our backyard is not real conducive to...
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I just bumped the tripod.
You aren't going to get fired, even if you mess up. You still get
Okay.
your job.
Yeah,
you have
that's-
job security. That's called job security.
I have once upon a time, I had this real fancy, they're called a gimbal, so that the camera doesn't, so no matter what I do, the camera is stable. And then like a half a year after I bought that, they changed the audio inputs on the iPhones, and so I can't
doesn't
use it
work
now
anymore
because
on
it
it.
doesn't. Our phone won't fit in it. The new phones won't fit in it. So Elizabeth is asking what kind of water. They recommend water without a lot of chemicals, either filtered water from like the refrigeration, or if you want to be extreme, you could buy distilled water. I think that's maybe extra work. But what they're trying to do is to not have water that's full of like a lot of chlorine and that sort of contaminants. So I think that either just bottled water, filtered water out of the fridge, or if like our water here in our town is mountain snow melt, it does get chlorinated. So if we put some in a large bowl the day before, the chlorine would all be gone the next day, and it's not going to hurt anything. So SB's here. She thought we were having an earthquake. That has happened a couple of times over the last couple of decades. The price of these things is all over the place. There's a lot of different models. They all, as a group, they're on the expensive side of things. For me, it's, at this point in life, it's a fun little science experiment. It's great. We have had basil that Tammy buys from the store, and it lasts in the little pot by the sink for maybe not much more than 2 weeks.
Oh, sometimes longer
A little
than that.
bit longer.
Except if I'm really making something that
Yeah.
requires a lot, I butcher it and it's all gone.
And it's all gone. And then we tried doing an herb garden outside in a large planter one summer, and it's kind of, when you're on the quick and need to grab a little something, then to go out there and then, are there bugs on it, or did the bug, having to wash it. And so the indoor herb garden's not going to have any chemicals on it. It's not going to have any bug spray on it. It's not going to dry up when we're away too long. So it seemed like a fun little experiment to have those ready to rock and roll, because these things, if you go follow the link that I put in the description and go to the website, and there's a lot of YouTube videos out on them as well, they turns into a bush. It will fill that whole space back behind the sink. We talked about what happens when it gets big. Well, we're not using that space for anything but plants now anyway. Why not have it be plants that we can eat and add to our dishes? So we will actually probably just, not as much as time as we spent today, but we'll give you a quick look at that as we move through the coming weeks.
I could take pictures and post it on
Post
Facebook.
online too.
Or do
Yeah.
a blog post about it.
Yeah, so anyway, there are different models. I bought the ceramic bath one, the one that the link is to. I did 2 links. I did one for this one, which is their super deluxe model. They have ones that are in stainless steel housing, others that are in plastic housings that are same shape, size, but much less expensive.
Yeah, and Shada has a smaller one, and
has
she
a-
said it's really noisy, and so she wanted to keep
Well,
it
there's a
in her
little
kitchen,
pump in there.
but she said she doesn't keep it in her kitchen just because it's too noisy. That's why she said get a bigger one
Well,
that
it
doesn't
only-
make as much
yeah,
noise.
It runs just for a short time though. She may have an older model that uses an Airstone or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Ours is completely silent. It makes no noise even when the pump is running.
But you could put it in any room.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere in the house.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be by a window because it has its own light,
Yeah, but
which
there's
is really
like,
fun.
there's 3-pod models, 6-pod models, 7-pod models, 9. This is a 9-pod model. So anyway,
Wow, Krista said she's grown basil using the live basil from the grocery store, and it survived and thrived for more than 2 years. That's amazing.
she must have the perfect window.
She must.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, so we're
So
excited.
yeah, and there's also, if you're cruising the blog, I did park a little banner in the right-hand column of the blog with the Arrow Grow. I put that there, so that is our link. And so if you explore through that, then you'll get to the right place, to the general site. And then the 2 links I did on the blog are on, one was directly to, it's just directly to the company, and then you have to search the brands. I lost my train of thought. These are also on Amazon, and you can get them from Amazon, but beware, the prices are all over the place. I think some vendors have actually increased the price because it's like grow food at home thing, and I think there's some profiteering going on with some of the vendors that have marked these up above retail. So be real careful with the pricing on Amazon, what model you're getting. As a reference, go back to the manufacturer's direct purchase site and check the numbers there to anything that Amazon is going. If you got some Amazon points or something like this, Amazon points to use, this is a great thing to use them on, but just make sure that you're getting a fair price from the multiple vendors that are on Amazon from that carry these.
Good job, honey.
Right.
And Tom loves toys. So
Yes, this is a science toy.
this is like a science toy for him.
And we did get it on sale. I did some research, and first I was like, oh my, what? How much is that? But then I started doing more research and found out the light was kind of special with the science of the spectrums that are on it. So, okay, yeah, they're trying to do a good job. And so I thought it would be a fun food experiment for us.
And I love fresh mint, so I'm excited about that. Mint and basil and dill. So we're excited. So you want to browse the questions and see what questions do
Chrissy
people have?
says, Tom, read a Brie C. Maybe elaborate on that a little bit. Maybe I'm out of context here with that comment. Do you guys wash your produce any differently since the pandemic? Do you use special produce wash, or do you wash using water only? We wash with the
water.
With the hot water in the sink,
Yeah.
and the scrub brush.
Every interview I've listened to with the experts, they said that they are just washing their vegetables the same way that they always have. And so that's what we're doing as well. We're just bringing things home and washing them like we always have. So we haven't done anything different with that.
Oh, Tiffany says that they're not going to fire me.
Can never fire Tom. Someone else said he can't be fired until after the pandemic.
Let's see. A Brie C. My mom has a narrow garden in our living room, and because of the lighting at nighttime, she says people think we're growing marijuana. Okay.
That's so funny.
This one does sit in that corner window, and I have noticed that it lights up the whole back right half of the backyard. That light is so bright at nighttime because it goes out through the window.
Oh, how funny. I wonder what the neighbors think.
So, yeah, it probably looks like they're growing something in their kitchen.
It's legal in California, though, right? You can have 3 plants or something. What is the...
Yeah, all my plants are legal. No, I do not have any plants.
No, but it's legal in California.
Yeah, you can grow your own in California.
That's so funny. That is too funny. Is it hard to clean the water part?
It's just a ceramic bath, so I'm going to say no.
But we don't know. We've only had it for a week.
A few days, but you change the water every 2 weeks, and I was going to cover it. There's a little food, and it's not fertilizer per se. It's a mineral mix that you put in there for all the essential minerals for the growing of the plants. So no herbicides or insecticides are going on the plants. Just the mineral solution to feed the roots of the plant, and then they ship a little bottle of that with it, and you do a couple of capfuls goes in there for the first 2 weeks, and then as the plants get bigger and start consuming more nutrients, then you up the number of capfuls that you put in per the instructions on the little computer scrolly screen thing.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna we caught the water. Okay, Dina S. does use distilled water, and that was mentioned on one of the factory videos that you can use distilled, or I used refrigerator. We have a carbon filter in the refrigerator. Let's see. Yeah, Tiffany, check it out. Check out the area. Check it out. It'll be fun. I think we Yeah, here's the non-starchy vegetable question. So we're caught up on questions, and we
Okay,
are also
awesome.
out of time.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's dinner time for us. We
Yeah.
got to eat dinner. Tom was saying today does not feel like Sunday to him. It feels like Thursday,
I
you
think that
said.
maybe because the kids were here Friday, and I don't know, that felt like the weekend, and now I feel like it's Tuesday or something.
That's weird. I don't know. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's really fun to hang out with you.
Oh,
If
Rose Weiss said that they said they're sold out on their website.
Really?
You know, I did hear from some folks that a lot of the models are sold out. This ceramic bath one, this is the Bounty Elite. They did have that one in stock. They shipped it with about after a week after I ordered it, and then it went out, and then it took just a few days to get here. So yeah, I think there has been a run on them because of the pandemic and the idea of people, you know, growing some vegetables. You know, you're not going to make a chopped salad out of this. You would mow the whole thing down in one fell swoop. These are garnish. These are herbs.
Well, that's why we went with the herbs.
It's an herb garden, not a salad garden. Salad garden's going to have to go in a raised planter box on the side of the house, which I'm also exploring putting together right now too. And
I mean, you can grow lettuce, you can grow romaine.
it would be
but
enough to matter.
It would, yeah. I mean,
These are seasonings.
we would eat it all in one meal, and so that's why we went with the herbs, which is what I wanted anyway, because that's what
Yeah.
I've been complaining about.
So Tiffany, did I purchase the largest size? So far as this type, yes. This is called the Bounty. And so as far as the countertop model, yes, it's the biggest one. If you want to get more serious, they have a thing called the Farm, and it's a rectangular thing with 4 columns and a bigger light and a chain mechanism that moves the light up and down. And so
Wow.
that's if you're going to do microgreens and like get really into growing stuff maybe for juicing or something. So I'm all in, but I'm not in that deep. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go ahead and build my planter boxes and do some stuff outside. You know, thinking of putting some nightshade plants on the west side of the house where they don't get full sun, and looking at doing some strawberries, and I want to get Tammy a cherry tomato plant because we spend a lot of money. We go to Whole Foods every week, and I was adding up how much money we spend on cherry tomatoes every week. Is not an insubstantial amount of money, and when you start adding it up.
You got to plant me one.
So anyway, I'm going to take it outside.
And try to grow some dark leafy greens,
Yeah. So okay.
that would be really fun.
Yeah. So Jesse's calling out. Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany, for helping out moderating. We'd love a thumbs up if we can have one.
Yeah,
And
give us a thumbs up, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video if you liked it.
Okay.
That's fun for us
All
too.
right. So we'll see you again next week. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the balance of the summit. It's not too late to sign up, if you maybe already said this, and catch what's left of them, which is 7 more days for free.
Yeah.
And so check out our link on that. And
it starts early, so it starts
8 a.m. California
at
time.
8 a.m. California time, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I
Eastern.
was late with my starting today. Those of you that got my starting today email, I think it was like I got all that done, and then they were halfway through the third one on Saturday. So
Yeah, but it's been really interesting, so I'm
yeah,
anxious
they're
to
doing a
hear
really
more.
nice job. Okay,
Yeah, this was fun. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tammy,
and I'm Tom.
and we help you get healthy and stay healthy, one meal at a time.
Bye bye.
Bye, you guys. We'll see you next week at 4 o'clock.